Truth Man here. Let's react to this Anton Daniels video. His video was, men today are better providers than your father. Man sets women straight for all wanting rich guys. Here we go.
Fathers than men are today. They just lived in a time where life was a lot easier. And I can break this down because I hate to see people comparing the two without giving context. So for context, in 1990, the average mortgage payment in America was $650. Today, the average monthly mortgage payment is $2,500. That's almost a 4x. The average rent price in America in 1990, it was $370. The average rent price today.
So a lot of people been reacting to this video, and I wanted to as well, because a lot of guys get unfairly compared to their parents, grandparents, so on and so forth, which have basically cheaper prices. They mortgages were $200, and then they paid their houses off. It was a different time period. And guys today face far more difficulties when it comes to just providing and making a living than guys back then, due to the disparity between the wage and the cost of living. For instance, in 2000, my mortgage was $507. I was making a little bit over 18. In 2025, my rent is $1,460, and I haven't doubled in terms of per hour. Now, we're going to get into, at the end of this video, how we can combat it. Some things I've been doing that I believe actually work, and some things we can do that actually work. Y'all gotta excuse me. Not gonna stop making videos because I'm under the weather. But let's look into what they were saying. Cause see, a lot of women, they'll be comparing you to their father, who mortgage was $200 and made just as much as you from his job.
Is $2,000. That's a 5x.
Yeah.
The average home price in 1990 was $120,000. The average home price today is $420,000. That's 3.5 times more. The average car payment with insurance in 1990 was $230. The average,
again, and I'm gonna keep stressing this, it's only two ways nowadays that you gonna make it: to team up or to stay alone. Ain't no in between. The in between would be one man working. I wouldn't suggest you do that even if you were rich. I mean, that's not even fair. Make them contribute, man, something. Because you still end up where I ended up. It ain't like you guaranteeing yourself nothing by them not working.
average car payment with insurance today is $730. That's a 3x. Meanwhile, the average income in 1990 was $30,000. Today, the average income is $55,000. That's not even the 2x. It hasn't even, the average income hasn't even doubled.
It hasn't doubled.
35 years. In 1990, on average, people were paid $2,500 a month. Today, the average person gets around $4,200 a month. So once again,
the income hasn't doubled, but the prices have tripled, quadrupled. That's basically what he's saying. But people overlook that when they begin to criticize people. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. You should have did this. You should have did that.
Number hasn't even doubled. The average minimum wage in 1990 was $4. The average minimum wage today is $7.25.
Hasn't doubled.
Once again, it hasn't doubled. So comparing somebody today to somebody in the past is like comparing to someone playing a video game on Hall of Fame to somebody that's playing the game on easy mode with the sliders up.
That's a good
Yeah, he
comparison.
might have a point there. When y'all sent me this video, I thought it would be interesting to be able to review, because I've seen this guy before, and I always like to link back to the description.
Wait, hold on. I want to go to the other. I want to go to when he was on the panel. Man, where's that video? Hold on. Here it is. Older men were not better providers. He said they were just bigger simps.
Here's how you can pay off your debt without setting foot in the bank. This tailored debt program allows you to borrow up to $100,000 with no bank involved.
Hold on. Let me go back.
What y'all bring up is that people understood where they were in life and where they were on the social economic ladder, and they just
Are men of today better providers than our fathers?
They just want to criticize.
I say no.
Yes, we are. And we, first of all, we are overall, we're a better batch. We the best batch of men that been on this planet ever. And let's start there. We with our kids more. We handle more
Facts.
responsibility. We take
Facts.
no bullshit from y'all.
Facts,
So
facts,
I
and
feel
facts.
like this the best batch of men ever created. If we got to be honest.
And even if we wanted to be better providers, the women fight us to be equal anyways. So it's like
And that's what's crazy. They fight to be equal, but then when they equal, they don't respect being equal. Y'all should know by now, man, that these women, man, they just want to look for reasons to criticize and get an upper hand, man. So when you deal with them, you got to only deal with the ones that benefit you somehow. And stop dealing with the ones that just gonna always try to look for a reason and a way to criticize you. Ain't nothing about your vagina or nothing else on your body worth me just hearing about how bad of a person I am. And I know I'm not a bad person like that. But this is how women will do you nowadays. And y'all, look, man, I'm gonna just tell you. These women are so disrespectful. Some dudes just can't handle it. So stop thinking these guys is bad when they just crash out on these women. Because sometimes they get pushed to that point. But what I do is I try to tell you, don't get pushed to that point. If they pushing you to that point, just get away from around them. Be by yourself or around a woman that's gonna amuse you. A woman that's gonna complete your recreational needs. I can argue with anybody. Ain't no way we should be with no woman who the thing she does the most is argue. That's a woman that you need to dump. And I notice y'all be talking about being with these women forever. Take it from me. The older they get, the crazier they get. The older they get, the less they want to do those things that please you, and the more they expect you to do those things that please them, even though they have scaled back the things that please you. Now, knowing that, and knowing that the average marriage is only 8 years anyway, look, man, you not being righteous getting married. I'm just going to be the truth, man, and I'm just going to tell you the truth. Most of your marriages is going to end in evil and unrighteousness. So if you think that you doing the righteous thing, you better have a unicorn. Otherwise, it's going to be full of sin and unrighteousness. I'm telling you. Take it. Look, man, listen. A lot of your favorite YouTubers ain't been on a roller coaster ride like me. They haven't been as married long as me. Nowhere near it. So take heed, I say, take heed. Let's go back to it. Hold on.
I was making so much money with DoorDash. I wanted to earn money in my free time, but
I don't know why that came up. Let's go back to
We're trying to be good, but they trying to fight us to be equal and this and that. So I think if he gave a economic breakdown, but that's always gonna vary depending on time anyway. So I don't even think that matters. It's just the women back then wasn't fighting to be a CEO and saying she not cooking, she not cleaning, she don't got time. So it's just a different dynamic.
You think women are fighting to be providers too?
Well, they for sure they love the word independent.
I don't know if maybe it's just me, but I could look at a chick and tell that it's gonna be a no. Like, they be looking evil now. Like, I don't know if it's maybe my insight is getting sharper. But like, a lot of them just be looking like you're gonna waste a lot of time.
Women of today are fighting to be providers.
No.
Oh, no. I mean, if they could find somebody to take care of them, they'll take it. It's just, I guess today they're requiring more of men. So, you gotta be 6'6", 6-pack, six figures. And so it seems like it's just harder for us to do.
Instead of refinancing your home or messing with your mortgage, there is a better solution. If you need cash now,
do that. And then there's attitudes, it's just all over the place.
They fighting for the title, but less responsibility.
Exactly. Fighting for the title, but less responsibility equals masculinity. These chicks is masculine. They fighting for the title. They want to be, that's the definition of strife. Struggle for superiority. That's the definition of strife. Like he said, they fighting for the title, but with less responsibility.
Okay, they want to be looked at as household partners and equals to their man without doing the same responsibility as the man. Man, y'all.
And they talk about how guys back then were better. Look at the title. Like, I agree with Anton, definitely. They just was bigger simps. We don't put up with as much as they did.
Y'all are lucky to have us. Jess, Molly, Jerry, Nikki, Q. Y'all should be really on y'all knees praying for us niggas. We the niggas who your granny was dreaming about. Because not only do we pay everything, but the majority of the part we faithful.
No. That's
Don't pay everything. Take it from me, man. It's not gonna make a difference. I know y'all think it is. It's not. You giving her an opening even more.
That's wrong. Most men
And
don't.
I was just about to say that there's some sort of disconnect.
With you.
The disconnect is y'all hard-headed.
No.
Y'all.
You're wrong. You might pay everything, but most of these men don't. Based on the average income of what men are making.
Okay. I was fair about it. I tried to look in the Bible, anything. I can't find where these dudes did every little thing. Like, I can't find it. Like, we don't see what the women were doing, but we know that these guys were not doing everything. And you got to understand, too, that you can't compare biblical days to now because they had whole tribes living together. So it was a different dynamic. People try to compare previous time that was totally different to now. That's what I don't get, man. Here we go.
Two income household is needed. So no. Well, maybe because I'm taking it from my dad paying everything, my dad being that man. Most of these men are not.
How old is your dad? Did your dad come up in the $200 mortgages? I did pretty good, considered. I had my ups and downs. I had my moments where I quit jobs because I had to. Think about it. If I end up in jail, will the bills get paid? They won't get paid. Because when you the only person working, more than likely you ain't gonna make enough where you just got that much money laying around to pay your bills if you beat up one of your coworkers and you gotta sit down there and face battery charges. That's the little secret thing that people don't tell you about these jobs. Like these people, like a lot of them never really had power. They probably were getting their lunch money took. And so you put them in this workplace dynamic with, hold on, with people that was running crews and running with crews and had a totally different lifestyle. You put them with these little geeks and give these geeks the first power they ever had. A lot of them gonna abuse it, be talking crazy, all kind of stuff. We gotta go back to it. Hold on,
Not
guys.
like my dad. Based on the statistics going on today.
Y'all got a misunderstanding of who, I don't know your dad in particular, but in general, y'all got a misunderstanding of who your grandfathers and your fathers was. Y'all fathers, your fathers was fuck ups. They was not great.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Listen, they didn't have the same pressures, they didn't exist in the social media era. They did not
That's important.
Spend as much money. And I think that the ability to survive was much easier based off of how much you made. It's the truth. Wages haven't increased as much as the cost of living. And so the ability to support a whole family of 4 or 2 or 1 or 3 or whatever,
or 6,
is much more difficult. And I think that because y'all falsely compare us to y'all punk ass fathers, we don't get the credit that we deserve. We better than them. We way better than them. We better than them punk ass.
We deal with more than they did. We deal with, think about it. You buy a car now. You have to protect your car from being stolen. And when your car gets stolen, let me tell y'all, you still got to pay for it. You got to pay the insurance premium to get it fixed, and you got to pay the note. So people wasn't stealing cars in the 60s, 70s, and 80s like that. It happens sometimes, but not like it do now. Somebody steal your car, you be like, man, how am I gonna get back and forth to work? It's a whole new set of challenges now.
As cokeheads. Y'all daddies was cokeheads.
I ain't gonna lie. I had a lot of relatives that he telling the truth. They, like, dudes was in the 80s, guys was tooting coke. And they still was functioning. But ain't no telling how much they had to pay for it. See? But they had more disposable income to do that. Because my father was making $22 an hour back in '85. Our mortgage was like $247, $265, something like that. I was a nosy kid, so I knew. I knew what it was.
Kids.
And your granddad had y'all staying in a shotgun shack. You can't tell me you love Granny. This nigga had one job not to get caught up. He had to take a piece of paper out of his pocket. He couldn't even spare Granny them tears. That's all he had to do was take the number out of his pocket.
SVJ? Is this your event or SVJ?
Yes, sir.
How much the car costs?
$900,000.
You got a lot of ads on this.
Y'all daddies was weak as fuck. They was some bitch ass.
There were deadbeats in every generation. It's just that the deadbeats in our generation are more amplified due to social media.
There it is. And some of them, look, all of these guys that's being called deadbeats now are not even deadbeats. They just, because of social media, like he said it's more amplified now because of social media. So now what a person don't have, they take away all the other character, morality, integrity, and characteristics because of what they don't have. That's what social media did. Social media elevated idiots and morons and pushed down everyday stand-up dudes. That's what it did. It pushed down everyday stand-up high-class dudes because of what they don't have.
Media. It's like it just.
It was more of them.
Yeah,
listen, these motherfuckers had families all over town.
And that's another thing. That's another thing. So I've been told that people are better than me, right? I ain't never cheated. I ain't never caked on, tricked on no women. But again, because of the time period that I live in, different situations, different circumstances, I'm like labeled a bad guy, and I ain't never even did this. Like, I ain't got no kids out there. Where they gonna get a kid from me? I jagged off on a toilet seat or something? Cause I definitely ain't slept with nothing. So how could a person say, only way they could is before I got married and, I was going crazy out here. That's the only way that somebody can say, such and such is my father. But these dudes be having a whole nother, I'm gonna show you how cheap it was for them. These guys used to be having 1, 2, 3 families and still had enough to get away with it. Still was making enough money to get away with it. That's how different it was economically. And I know because my grandfather did it. I had a whole nother daughter and was there for both, from what they say. I'm telling you, dude, people nowadays, they misconstrue things.
Rolling Stones.
That's why I keep my mouth shut. That's know what it is.
They was, listen, y'all gotta realize they was making 100,000 in the 90s. Do you know what 100,000 in
100,000 in 92 was like 500,000
now.
Wait, so Anton, if they were doing that back then, right? Does that mean that if some men from back then was doing it, why aren't the men of today not doing it?
Because it's hard.
Hey, what a goofball. First of all, let's break it down. 1990 was all of these foreigners that y'all see right now here with all these businesses. Store on every corner, liquor store on every corner. In 1990, in the U.S., were you seeing that? That is one of the things that made it increasingly difficult for Americans. Because to this day, they'll take the money that they make and ship it back to wherever they from. That's one. 2 is for the job. Same thing. Competition from foreign. It's like Americans are more expendable now. And the jobs that you can get with ease are the jobs that they don't want. And the job that they don't want, they're going to act a fool on you and you probably going to just quit. It's a lot of factors to this, and it's a lot of levels to this too. that she said, why can't they do it now? Dude. Everybody not gonna be a YouTube sensation. Everybody ain't going to the NBA, NFL, or Major League Baseball. And everybody definitely ain't gonna be a rapper or a singer. So what's left? $12 an hour.
Is it harder or they're more lazy?
No.
It's still the same 8 hours.
A lot of these jobs, think about it. When you get a job, you've been applied for like 200-300 jobs now. Think of the time lost. Think of the money lost just trying to get a job. And then when you get it, the people there are psychopaths, sociopaths. You can't mess with them. Most of the time when people quit a job, it's not. Every now and then you have a few isolated cases where somebody just lazy or they just not disciplined enough. But a lot of times they just not messing with that place. Like somebody said about my old job, they said if they paid $50 an hour, people still would quit. And they absolutely right, because the way those people act, who wants to stay there? You have to have a certain mindset to stay on some of these jobs. It's just going to be nearly impossible. And the job going to be ripping your heart out of your chest. Because for you to stay on some of these jobs, it's going to be turning you into a whole different person. This is why people be getting drug addiction, gambling addiction. Like this is why they overdo things. Because they be working a job and that be they cope.
Sometimes men don't feel there's no incentive for some men to want to do it in the first place, given the type of modern women that are here today.
No, that's true.
I think that a man will be willing to do more for a woman that he feels like he can get as much value from. And that's not necessarily using her like for her body or objectifying her, but if he feels...
I have no problem with looking out for a woman. But if I look out for a woman, she got to be doing her part. Because if she stopped doing her part or she not doing her part, I'm going to look at that and it's going to make me not want to do nothing for her. A lot of dudes, they get behind in their bills. A lot of time they be like, man, I'm not finna make it easy for her.
Like he can get a package deal out of this one woman, then of course he's going to cater and do more to her. But for some men, because I know a lot of single men and they don't want to do anything for a woman, not because they don't necessarily have it, but because they don't feel like that woman
is worth it.
Be receiving his resources.
She just stays some fat.
Now y'all are good enough for a one-room shack, but you're not good enough for a 3-bedroom apartment. Like you hold your horses. So what your granny was compared to was a one-room shack because that was the shit that day. But what the equivalent of that is today is a 3-bedroom apartment, and y'all not worth that.
Well, the influence is bad too because women, everybody knew where they landed in the hierarchy of life, and they were okay with that. They were okay with being a man in a city. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wasn't trying to fly out or compete against the same people and all of that. I think that everybody was more willing to accept their lot in life and just work on being the best that they can.
Pretty much.
Blue Chew? Blue Chew.
And now, like he said, it's a competition thing. And when you're dealing with competition, you're going to always have people who cheat. Nowadays, cheating is you shooting down on the competition. You trying to make yourself like you better than the competition, which is what a lot of people do, even in this space on YouTube.
I know what you're doing.
You don't know what Blue Chew is?
Everybody wasn't being, you know what I'm saying, being influenced and all of that shit. Women, all of these women I don't know where the fuck y'all thought that y'all was all TNs at, but that is a bunch of shit. That is the biggest crack ever. For whatever reason, y'all think that y'all all 10s, and that is a lie. You wasn't even a 10 in your own high school. Like, come on, man. Like, come on.
And he right. They do try to act like they 10s. I ain't really seen too many 10s in person. I've seen some 8s, 9s. Like, it's a couple 8s and 9s on YouTube. But I ain't seen no 10s, man. I think I might have saw 110 one day I was in Nordstrom. She was 10. 10. I'm looking like, trying not to stare too much, like, wow.
Bro, I seen chicks that I graduated with, like, you wasn't a shit in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get all of these great expectations and all of this stuff from, like, stop it. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's social media, I don't know if it's y'all friends, I don't know if it's y'all support group, I don't know if it's these punk ass therapists that's lying to y'all, telling y'all that y'all deserve love. Oh man, listen, 100%. Listen.
What women don't want to admit, it's just like you look at guys and you don't be wanting them. We look at y'all and we don't be wanting y'all. Like this panel right here. Wait, hold on. My nose running, y'all.
Nothing wrong with being a regular
his panel, the one in the middle probably looks the best to me. But to be honest, I wouldn't care if they didn't go for me because I'm not going for none of them.
Regular person. Go and get
the one in the corner is average.
Go and build that junk up together.
Both corners
probably can be great together. But you out here thinking that you deserve Odell Beckham Jr. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Molly and Jerry are setting the bar too high.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I do agree. A lot of women today do have unrealistic expectations as it relates to.
A dude give them $200 and now they expect every other dude to give them $800, basically.
And I can say this because some of the women that I've been around or have heard certain conversations, and I'm just like thinking in my head, like, sis, like that's completely unrealistic. But I will say this, as it relates to the household, I feel like the man is the head and the woman is the neck, and one cannot move without the other. I think where the disconnect lies is that there's this complex of, I don't think men were better providers then, but I do think that gender roles and where we are supposed to
we're more accepted
look a lot different nowadays. I don't think a lot of women want to be independent. I think a lot of women are pushed into independence. And I'm agree with Q.
Their attitude is pushing them into independence more than everything. Like the lady in the corner said, that most guys, they'll do it, but they look at these women like they not worth it. Why would I fully provide for a woman who act like a man?
A lot of men are not the sole providers in the household. A lot of the times, we gonna keep it a bean, and black.
A lot of women gonna always be single because they put too high of an emphasis and value on money when it comes to relationship. It's important. It is. But the level of importance that modern women has placed on money make the average dude, like guys are smarter now. Like they be looking like, man, she ain't even worth it.
Expecting me to swing from a chandelier, keep my body up, keep my face right, keep my body tight, come home.
What city are y'all making more money than us in?
Right.
Well, I can't speak for all cities, but right now I'm in Phoenix. But I don't know the specific numbers on that, but a lot of the women are out earning men.
Where?
You just said
so
that.
black women out earning men.
Where?
A lot of the households that I've seen.
She got to be talking about Pookie. She got to be talking about Pookie. I make more from gig work than a lot of these women make from their job. she got to be talking about Pookie. You have a prepaid call from Pookie. That's who she talking about.
Yeah. Woman is making.
We literally just had a whole conversation, and you just crashed out about men making more than you.
That's true.
I don't know where y'all saying these women.
She exposed her. Y'all hear that? The lady in the corner just exposed her, said she crashed out because men make more than her. But now she wanted to see. That's what we deal with now. They be lying, man.
Yes, the reason why
the lady in the corner just exposed her for saying she crashed out over men making more money than her.
You think women?
And what jobs do they have?
Because in these same households, the man is doing the heavy lifting, so he might.
Wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on.
When he paying the rent and she paying the bills and get the pocket to change. So now she got more money to spend, and it look like he ain't got it because he doing the heavy lifting with.
Exactly. Dude, this be feeling so good, man. When the truth, I'm addicted to the truth, y'all. Like, it's something about the truth. It's addictive. What he just said is so true. Like, for instance, I gave her I said, well, we'll split this right here. Something that I initiated to get. Right? But after that, it was a couple times where she had more money because I'm paying all the bills. She getting half of that. And so when I be like, well, I need you to pay some of this, it become an argument. When she only got that because I took the initiative. See, these women, look, man, I always been a player. I always had my way with women. That ain't gonna stop. I will give account before the Most High God before I allow some chick to weaken me because of my relationship with him. They be literally weakening men, especially I got like church guys. Like I got a special place in my heart for the sanctimonious man, because I know he getting the short end of the stick. He getting emasculated daily. And like dude said, they don't be paying bills like that, so sometimes they'll have a little more money. Remember the story that everybody been talking about with the guy that was working practically 3 jobs, told his wife he was burning out. She had $47,000 and didn't help him and thought she wasn't wrong about it? He did right by leaving her. He went and stayed with his brother. Dude, look, man, embrace being alone. When you alone, you're not going to fight against you. And let's keep going.
With his money.
My thing is 2K is levels to it, right? I'm all about being what's good for you and your household. There are some households where the man is the sole provider and that works for them, but it's levels to it. A man who's a sole provider and that woman can rest in her femininity and take care of the house, he can get a sandwich at 3 a.m. But
just because you the sole provider don't mean that a woman gonna rest in her femininity. These women be holding grudges over everything. When I tell you everything, I mean everything. When you marry these women, right, that's what you taking in. Like if she's a non-forgiving, like if she's an unforgiving person, that's something that you gonna have to deal with from now on, man. I was sitting thinking about it, like, I had to forgive myself for a lot of stuff because a lot of the decisions I made as a young man, some of them is still hurting me to this day. If one of the characteristics that you want in a woman that you even deal with as a concubine, she has to be a forgiving person. If she not, dude, you in for it. You in for it. She gonna have you trying to prove yourself, and she's still not forgiving you for something that happened 20 some odd years before that. Man, we almost done. If it cut off, it cut off. I done put enough on here. I gotta get going. But I want to just finish.
If it's a situation where both the man and the woman work and they're both contributing financially 50-50, and then let's not even talk about kids, where most of the time a lot of the women are doing the heavy lifting as it relates to the kids. So it's levels to it. That same man you may not be able to ask for a sandwich at 3 o'clock in the morning, because guess what? We both got to get up and go slave.
Hold on, 2K.
And
I am going through my mental Rolodex of everybody that I done coached, everybody that I done interacted with in real life. I can't think of one couple where the woman makes more money than the man. I can't think of one. Not one.
It don't exist.
Not even I honest, and this is the honest to God on my father's grave. I can't think of all of the people that I know, and I know a lot of people. I can't think of one couple where the woman make more money than the man. Not even close.
Well, I can. I know a couple, but it ain't a lot. It ain't enough for it to be a talking point. You know, I could think of a couple.
Even if I'm thinking of couples where they both work at the same job, and he's still
be part of the #1 movie in the world.
What you mean, like right now? Right now? Yeah.
He'll put in more overtime than her. I can't think of it, honestly.
And the reason,
like, Anton, but I feel like you're in a whole different bracket, right? So I feel like the people who you
put it this way. A lot of my background is in corrections, right? I can explain it to you like this. To be in corrections, you gotta be comfortable with, excuse my language, being called a whole ass nigga. Everything in the book. I looked at it like, for her not to want me to quit, she must be comfortable with other people calling me a whole ass nigga. For her to just continue to not bring no income, no remote working, no nothing, she had to be comfortable with that. And then for you to tell me that, look, I could deal with the inmate, but when you work corrections, you got your management team had to be reasonable. You gonna disrespect me like them? Not gonna happen. You gonna be unfair with me like them? Not gonna happen. But it's like, it takes a certain level of disrespect to be comfortable with your man working in a field like that, police corrections, and you say, well, I'm just gonna stay at home. But now you say, I'm not your maid. Now you say, wash your own clothes. Y'all see that? But you want me to remain in an environment like that. Which, no problem. But for me to work a correctional job and just stay there for a long time, the management is going to have to be reasonable and fair. If I'm doing a good job and you telling me I'm not doing a good job, then I'm going to look at it like something wrong with you. You ain't paying attention. You not watching. I don't know, man. I just don't know. We almost done. She told me, she said, you just want to make YouTube videos all day. I make more from YouTube than you make.
It looks completely different than the
Period.
average Mojo.
I'm telling you, I'm talking about regular people. I don't know anybody where the woman makes more than the man.
Because a woman is gonna naturally date somebody that's making more than her. Off top.
That's not true.
Now I do not know.
Damn, my nose itching, y'all.
Women that are single that make a lot of money, but I don't know a couple where the woman make more than the man.
I do.
Listen,
but it ain't enough to.
I don't know a couple where the woman make more than the man, though.
And Jess, like you were saying, if both of us go to work and you still got to do the majority of the kid stuff, it's because I do the heavy lifting when it comes to the bill.
So we're talking about complete 50-50 financially, though. Like, it's split down the middle. I've seen it.
Now, I'll say this. I don't know nobody that goes 50-50 on the bills. Either in a couple situations, the woman pays more of the bills, but most of the situation, the guy pays more of the bill. This 50-50, I don't know where this is coming from, but he talking about what he don't know. I don't know too many people that go 50-50 on these bills.
You know, like that too, where the husband and the wife contribute 50-50 to everything.
Okay.
So now,
but it ain't even.
The woman agreed to it though, so
yeah. And if they're doing that, it's most likely out of a necessity. Naturally, most men want to provide. That is their natural position. That's just what it is. But yeah, I do believe in today's society. But if you're saying something like that, he's still probably doing way more. And I mean, because I just can't factor in the 50-50 if we talking about providing, because they just do a lot.
Y'all know what? I'm gonna just end it there, man. It was only a couple minutes left. Now, these women on this panel weren't the worst that I've seen. They actually probably were more reasonable than a lot of what I've seen. But every time these women get on these panels, it just shows me more and more why guys just need to be comfortable alone. And me being a preacher, I never thought that I would say that for a lot of dudes, it probably is better just to buy it from time to time. Why would you put crazy under the same roof as you? Say, are you condoning it? No, what I'm not condoning is to be married to some crazy broad that's gonna make your life a living hell. Better to be on the corner of a roof than in a house with a contentious woman. The Bible even say that. That's what I'm saying. You tell me which is worse. A guy who said, you know what? I'm just going to be a sugar daddy. I'm just going to get the best looking women when I feel like it. Or a guy that try to be more traditional and now he got to please this woman that ain't even all that. And the fact of him pleasing her and trying to please her is pumping her head up even more. He pumping her head up. The dude's out here pumping her head up. Now you tell me which is better. Because either way it go, it's going to be a hindrance between you and the Most High. With the wrong woman, being married to the wrong woman, or you just buying prostitutes. It's going to be a hindrance either way. But from an earthly standpoint, you cannot tell me that the way these women is now, it's smart to bring them in your house and marry them. Y'all just need to learn how to do them like this.